Your friend Shoaib. Today we are going to learn about the anatomy of the human heart. So let's take the introduction of the heart. The heart is a muscular pump that serves two functions, as you know. But did you know this book is written by me? The heart is a muscular pump that serves two functions: to collect blood from the tissues of the body and pump it to the lungs, and to collect body blood from the lungs and pump it to all tissues of the body. The human heart lies in the protective thorax posterior of the sternum and costal cartilages and rests a superior surfaces of the diaphragm. The heart assumes an oblique position in the thorax with two-thirds of the two left of midline. It occupies a space It occupies a space between the pleural cavities, called the middle mediastinum, defined as the space inside the pericardium, the covering around the heart. This serous membrane has the inner and outer layers with a lubricating fluid. In between, the fluid allows the inner visceral pericardium to glide against. The fluid allows the inner pericardium to glide against. I am repeating this again. The fluid allows the inner visceral pericardium to glide against the outer parietal pericardium. So we have done with introduction. So next, part 2, anatomy, Winhouse and Roberts. So this is the pericardium. As you see, this is the pericardium and this is the apex, and see the upper. This is the lung, right lung, left lung, and the heart, middle heart, and the rib cage, and the inside interior heart. You can see this interior heart. So, first I will explain you about the apex of the heart. Apex of the heart is formed entirely by the left ventricle is directed downwards. You can see the downwards, okay? Forwards and to left the overlapped by the anterior border of the left lung. You can see this anterior border and the left lung, and this is the apex. This is the border of the lung, okay? And it is situated in the left fifth intercostal space 9 centimeter. So you can measure this. Now I'm waiting. You can measure this, and this is the 9 centimeter. This line you can measure this, and 9 centimeter you will get, okay? Lateral to the midsternal line, just medial to midclavicular line. In the living subject, pulsations may be seen and felt over this region, okay? In children below 2 years, apex is situated in the left fourth intercostal space in middle clavicular. So in the children's of the 2 years, the apex should be the here. The apex should be the here, okay? Where is the pericardium? And pericardium should be the here. Where is the apex? In the 2 year children, okay? Now next, the base of the heart. So this is the base of the heart, okay? You can see this is the base of the heart, and the aorta. This is the aorta, and the base of the heart is also called its posterior surfaces. It is formed mainly by the left atrium. You know the left atrium. What is the left atrium? Okay. I hope the left atrium and by a small part of the right atrium. I hope you also know the right atrium. And in relation to the base, one can see the openings of four pulmonary veins. You also know the veins, the nerves, which open into the left atrium and of the superior and inferior vena cava. The superior and inferior vena cava. The inferior vena cava is situated in the inner part of the heart. Latin empty vein. That is mean in the Latin empty vein. Okay, which open into the right atrium. It is related. Which open into the right atrium. It is related to thoracic cavity. Five to thoracic eight vertebrate is a lying posterior and descends by the one vertebra. In the erect posture, it is separated from the vertebral column by the pericardium, the right pulmonary veins, the esophagus, and the aorta. So, here the esophagus. Imagine, you can imagine from here the esophagus go from below the heart and below the aorta. This is the aorta, as you all know. This is the aorta. This is the aorta, and the esophagus go from the below the aorta, below the lungs, below the diaphragm, below the heart, and below the pericardium, and below the apex, and join to the stomach, as all of the humans know. Now we will learn about the borders of the heart. So you can see the borders of the heart. This is the border of the heart, and pericardium is also the border of the heart. The upper border is slightly oblique and is formed by two atria, chiefly the left atrium. The upper border, this is the upper border, okay? And the right border is more or less ventricle and is formed by the right atrium. It extends from superior vena cava to inferior vena cava IVC. You, I hope you know the IVC full form also. The inferior border is nearly horizontal and is formed mainly by the right ventricle. A small part of it near the apex is formed by left ventricle. It extends from IVC to apex. Now, the left border. This is the left border of the left lung. I explain you about this. Okay, we have done with the right border. Okay, and the left border. The left border is oblique and curved. See, you can see this curved. This is curved from the apex. It is formed mainly by one ventricle and partly the by the left auricle. It separates the anterior and left surfaces of the heart. It extends from apex to left auricle. Okay. Now next. Now here is the dead body of the human, and this is the heart. This is the apex. This is the apex. This is the heart and the pericardium, the side of the lung, and this is the two great vessels. Okay, the left lung. In this image, there is no the pericardium. Here is pericardium, but here is not the right lung. Only the left lung here is, and the diaphragm also here is. Here the stomach. Here is not liver. Okay, and this is the rib cage and the heart. Okay, this is the heart, and you can see again the heart is composed of four distinct chambers. The four distinct chambers, I hope all of you know. I will show you the four distinct chambers. See, this is the four distinct chambers. Right atrium, you can see this right atrium, the first chamber, and the left atrium.